If I had to pick one place to take somebody from out of town to kind of give them the Denver experience, I think I would take them to the Union Station Farmers Market. It's one of my favorite spaces. I connect with the farmers market in a lot of different ways. One of them is just that desire to feel like I am a part of the community that is growing food here and a part of the community that's supporting the food that is grown here, that I'm literally putting my money where my mouth is. These things that I talk about in terms of connecting urban and rural environments really come together when you're at this space in the city center where people from rural environments and a couple of little farms from the city are selling their food and their wares. And it's really unique in that the board of the farmers market ensures that everybody who is there is actually growing and producing their food. And that excites me because it gives me a chance to meet the people that are growing my food every week. So I really see the role of farmers changing in an increasingly urban environment, and I think that Denver really embodies that. About 115,000 people moved to Denver just last year. And so that's 115,000 mouths to feed. And so the question is, as our urban environments get more populated, how do the rural farms work to support all of those mouths to feed? And how can we maximize what we're doing while still thinking about how we're affecting our environment? And so I think that farmers are more important now than they have ever been. I think it's so easy to not see or even think about the hands that touch our food on a daily basis. This is just something that we sort of take for granted. We go to the grocery store, we pick up groceries, and we make our food, and we don't think about all of the different hands that it took for that food to reach our table. But when you're at the farmer's market, you get a chance to shake those hands. You get a chance to be right up there and to understand what it takes for them to grow food and to see how their farm shifts and changes with the seasons, with the weather, and to see what produce really does grow in your area and what it takes to grow that. So what are we seeing produce-wise for Denver that's a high desert? What are we producing?
Yeah, right. I mean, it is tough to grow here for sure. So we're looking at turnips. This is a red meat turnip, high curry turnip, lacinato kale, red Russian kale, scarlet kale, array of radishes.
And so I think by doing that, you get to learn a little bit about your local ecosystem and you get to connect in. One of the many things I love about the farmers market is this chance that you get to connect with people and to renew those connections each and every week. You'll buy something from them one week and then you get to come back and you get to talk to them about how you cooked with it and what you made out of it. Maybe in return, you get a recommendation back about, well, maybe you should try this upcoming week.
Still
Spicy?
Super juicy inside, a little bit spicy.
Man, it's like, this is really nice.
But still just like juicy, really nice inside.
Yeah, they're so different than other mushrooms. They're
Yeah, they are very different.
They're like crabby.
Yeah, but they still respond well to some butter and a pancake.
Yeah. You really can't beat it.
You really can't. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for doing what you do.
You're awesome.
It's a great anchor point in my week. This is my Saturday ritual. I wake up and I go to the farmer's market with my partner. On a different note, Union Station is this space that I grew up going to. Every month my dad would go and get his hair cut downtown, and afterwards we would go and we would smash pennies on the train tracks at Union Station. And this was sort of an anchor point of my childhood, that we would go and we would do this and that I would get to spend this quality time with my dad in this space that felt really grand at the time. Coming from the suburbs of Denver, walking into Union Station, there was this feeling of a bygone era, this grandeur, these super high ceilings, these kind of echoing marble floors, and then sneaking out to the back and laying coins on the train track. And as I grew up, it still served as that anchor point. When I was a teenager, I spent a lot of time going to punk rock shows in downtown Denver, and I would take the light rail into Union Station to see punk rock shows. And so I would often stop, and this was after my father had passed, and I would often stop and I would smash coins on the train tracks with my punk rock friends. Union Station for me is just really, it's a center point to my world here in Denver. And I think it's become that center point for everybody else in Denver. It's become this space where people are coming in and they're staying from out of town and they're getting to experience Denver, and where locals come to experience this new and exciting aspect of Denver. And I think that Dana Crawford and that whole team has done a really incredible job of revitalizing something and maintaining that sense of grandeur and that sense of a bygone era. I think that they've paid a lot of attention to what that space was, and they have honored it, which is honoring the past of Denver, right? It's this quiet cow town that you entered through this grand, hall. And I think that they've done a lot to maintain that and to provide that connection point where you're coming right in from the airport into this beautiful grand space that is reminiscent of old Denver. And so that really excites me, that we're honoring our sense of history while moving forward into the future. And I want to see more of that out of Denver.